And the first pitch is going to be outside.
Left-hander against left-hander today. Bobcats playing Pleasant Grove Spartans for the state championship.
Shivers are not too big of a person. Looks to be about 5'9". Second swung on is to Cam Pierce. Fields it and over to first for the first out. As Shivers grounded to Pierce over to Ashley Davis. If you score it 6-3 for the first out here in the first inning.
Routine play, buddy. We talked about last night. A lot of people talking about it in the stands today. Said all we want to do with our pitchers is get the ball across there, don't walk them, and give a defense a chance to play defense. But you know what? We've talked about this many a time. That's what the pitchers always try to do is get it across the plate.
The second man up will be the second baseman, Brian Atchison. Had a good night last night at the bat and as well in the field. D. Jones from the left side throws a curveball, a little high. And they play Atchison straight away and not too deep. Infield straight away. They're on the baseline on third base. Ball inside. 2-0 is the count.
Can't say enough about yesterday's ball game, buddy. About the two games as Ashley Davis pitched a tremendous game yesterday, and then had a relief help from Eric Cox to win the first game 7-6 in 9 innings.
Actually, Eric got the win and a call, strike one, fastball.
No different official day, anybody.
Much quicker. And I was talking to the Pleasant Home radio announcer as well, and he was having problems with the late calls by the umpire yesterday. Ball inside. Now we're looking at 3 balls, 1 strike with 1 out, and no one on. So Jones walks off the back of the mound, takes his time, now walks back, looking to home plate, getting his signals, and the windup, and the delivery, and calls strike 2 rather.
Right down there. Both teams. I tell you, it's a big ball game. A lot of pressure on both these teams. The young players out here, oh my goodness, both of them wants it so bad, and it's just everybody's real tight. But you know, it looks like a Bobcats pretty relaxed today.
I feel very confident about this game. We know we can play. Swung a high fastball right in his eyes. He could not turn it loose, and he missed it. Therefore, went down swinging for the second out here in the top of the first.
Top of the first inning here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama. It's 2 out. And coming to bat now for the Pleasant Grove will be Shane Carnes.
Carnes bats from the left side. Also had a good night last night. He plays right field for the Spartans on defense. D. Jones, the left-hander, faces the left-hander for the first time. It's low outside.
Beautiful weather here at Pleasant Grove. It's a lot of people trying to wear light-colored shirts today because it is hot. Little breeze, though, makes it feel a lot better.
Carnes steps out, now steps back in with 2 out here in the top of the first. A long delay by D. Jones. Now his windup and delivery, and a pass ball as it was wide away from Judd Chanel for ball 2. The Bobcats, as I mentioned, pretty much play it straight away on the infield. Ashley Davis at first is behind first, almost to the grass. Brent Hall's 1 step off the grass, as well as Cam Pierce, and then third baseman right on the baseline. High outside for ball 3 is Josh Kaiser, who plays the baseline for the bunt.
And a little bit of hold here now. 3 balls and no strikes on the batter. See if D can come back with 3 strikes here.
The first inning certainly is a big inning for a pitcher, and that one is called strike 1 right down the pike. Good fastball, and that's, of course, what we anticipated. 3-1 count. Another one like that, he would have to go swinging, I'm sure. Carnes, as he proved last night, can hit the ball hard and sharply. Steps back in, the left-hander. He looks, and a big swing, a roundhouse swing as such, and he went down missing it. So now we got a full count. So instead of 3-0, it's run full on Shane Carnes. So D. Jones takes a big, deep breath. He looks for his sign, the wind up and delivery inside, and he walks him.
A little bit inside for a walk there. So that's first runner of the ball game, and it's the Pleasant Grove Carnes will be on first base with 2 out.
Carnes will be followed by Andy Elrod. And of course, we've said a lot about Andy Elrod. He had 16 homers for the year. Last night was his 16th, a towering homer about 350 feet over the right field fence.
Had a 3-run blow last night that really hurt us in that ball game as they won 5-3.
He also bats left-handed, and the throw to him is wide, and the runner, Carnes, goes down standing up at second base. The ball got away from Judge Chanel back to the fence. And they're just going to put him on now instead of giving him the opportunity to swing away, as they send him to first base since it is now open. So with 2 out, things are happening here for the Spartans. They have runners on first and second, and coming to bat would be Richie Robinson, the third baseman. Robinson also has power. Now that they'll be holding as Brent Hall moves over to second, holds Carnes as D. Jones, being left-handed, fakes, looks, and the pitch is wide outside.
Walks will always get you in trouble, usually in a ball game, but you know what? The pitcher's doing their best. They're trying their hardest to put it across there.
Robinson is a right-hander, and they play him straight away in the outfield and fairly deep. Jones looks, now takes, delivers. It is called ball high outside.
2 balls, no strikes.
Carnes takes a moderate lead off of second, and Elrod takes a big lead off of first. And the pitch on the outside corner called strike 1. So now 2 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs here in the top of the first.
We're in the first inning at Pleasant Grove in the state championship final. The Bobcats and Pleasant Grove Spartans playing for the marbles right here.
D. Jones looks, he takes, delivers. The ball is hit sharply over to Cam Pierce to Brent Hall for the 3rd out, as Elrod is forced out at second base. Good play by Cam Pierce. Out of fielder's choice. So that retires the side of the first inning for the Spartans offensively, and the Bobcats will be coming to bat. We'll be back in a moment.
Pleasant Grove, Alabama state championship game. The Bobcats and the Pleasant Grove Spartans playing for all the marbles here, and we're in the bottom half of the first inning. In the top half, Pleasant Grove, we got 2 runners on, but could not move them around. Now the Bobcats will be coming to bat, and the first 3 for the Bobcats will be Cam Pierce, Brent Hall, and Chris Gohagen.
Let's set the defense quickly. At first base will be David Landrum. At second base, Brian Atchison. And at shortstop again today is Brandon Whiten. At third base, Richie Robinson. In left field, Scott Shivers. In center field, Andy Elrod. Right field, Shane Carnes. And behind the plate, Dustin Black. As we mentioned on the mound, Mike Hamilton, as he is waiting for Cam Pierce to step in, as he has done at this time. He's a left-hander as well. Big windup and throw into the dirt, ball 1.
First pitch in that dirt. I like this, what I saw on that left-hander first pitch, Mr. Buddy Power.
He looked as though he might be having some problems with his control initially, because in his warm-ups he did the same thing. Hit the ball out in front of the plate. That was another one. And now another ball. This one low and outside. So 2-0 count on Cam Pierce. And Cam had a good day yesterday, but however he was having problems at the last of the game with Elrod, who struck him out 3 straight times. Hamilton delivers in the dirt again. So he's coming high and over the top, and it's not having the control he now desires.
Well, buddy, what I like so far now about the first 3 pitches, naturally I like them because they were balls, but I've watched the attitude of the pitcher. If you watch a pitcher, he's really getting disgusted with himself, and he's kicking the dirt, and he's mad about getting across there, and I guarantee you, or I don't guarantee anything, but he may start trying to aim that ball, and if he starts trying to aim it, we're going to be in good shape. We're already in good shape. Make it
we
better.
Feel good about this game today, and we're going to come home with a trophy, and we hope it's the big one, and we feel good about it. Hamilton delivers. First pitch, strike. So 3 balls, 1 strike. to the leadoff batter for the Bobcats here in the bottom of the first. Again, we are the home team on the flip of a coin. Hamilton delivers in the dirt. It hit 8 to 10 feet in front of the plate. He must be disgusted. He's coming too far over top and cannot turn it loose at the appropriate time to find the strike zone. But that puts Cam Pierce on first base.
That looked like that time that it hit on the grass way out in front of the home plate and bounced up across there.
He'll be held by David Landrum on first base. Again, he'll be looking into the eyes of Mike Hamilton, who is 6-0 for the year as Cam takes his lead. Now, stepping into the box will be Brent Hall. Hall takes ball one high. At least he got it off the dirt.
Sure did. And, Buddy, we're anxious to see now. The coach calls timeout here, and the coach is coming on the field, and I'm going to be anxious to see whether the Bobcats are running again today like they ran yesterday. Early in the game, the Bobcats had a lot of success running and really made things happen, but then the catcher really got hot there, I guess, in the later goings and really cut us down, so really don't know what to do.
Coach Randy Griffin, from the days gone by, you the coach in the championship, the World Series of Baseball for 4A, as we would say. What would you be telling your sophomore pitcher up on the mound at this time?
Just like I told you a while ago, what all the fans tell him. Throw strikes, let them hit it, get them out. And like I told you before, they trying to do that, but that's all. Relax, be calm, and I hope he doesn't listen to anything the coach said.
Now, what would you be telling if you were Coach Johnny Grimes to Brent Hall?
Well, I'd probably tell him to make him bring it in there. Don't swing at a bad pitch. How about that? I don't know anything, but it's a good thing to talk about anyway.
Let's see what happens from the comments of Randy Griffin.
Good comments, too.
1 ball, no strikes. Hamilton delivers in the
Go
dirt.
ahead.
Pass ball. Here goes Cam Pierce to second base, standing up. And that moves the runner up, exactly what the Bobcats wanted. Now Hall looks down again to Coach Johnny Grimes, and if he has an opportunity to bunt, he may move him to third base.
Well, you could be right on that one, but, I was kind of wondering if we would bunt, because we've been bunting in the past on that situation to get him down, but the pitcher throwing the ball in the dirt a lot, I think your chances of him getting down on a pass ball was a lot better. 2
balls, no strikes, no outs, man on second. And he hits it. High fly ball to center field. Elrod circles under, catches it. Here goes Pierce. Pierce racing to third. The throw is going to be high, but backed up by Hamilton. So Cam Pierce now on third base as Brent Hall flies to center field.
How about that?
He gave him the green light with a 2-0 count. And now there's 1 out, and that brings to bat Chris Gohagan. And Randy, I was in the dugout earlier prior to the game. Chris Gohagan comes over to Coach and says, "Coach, can I see that book a moment?" He was talking about last night's scorebook. "What you want?" "I want to know how many times I K'd last night."
So he's anxious about hitting that baseball today.
And let's see if he does it. Ball outside. Hamilton still having problems with the control as we have Cam Pierce on third base with 1 out and Chris Gohagan at the bat. 1 ball, no strikes. Swung on. Swinging strike 1.
And nobody anywhere wants to knock him in more than Chris. Chris wants to come back here and have a good ball game, and he's up there swinging that bat, trying to get Cam Pierce in for third base.
And he stands well out in front of the plate. The delivery swung on, strike 2.
That time the fastball right down through there, buddy.
And he's getting closer to that strike zone as well, even though if they were not swung at, it would be mighty close to the strike zone. So I'm sure that Gohagan sees that as well. Now this, he's got himself in a hole. He's 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. Gohagan waiting. Now the delivery, and it's a slow curveball inside, and it backs him out somewhat for 2 balls. 2-2 this count with Cam Pierce on third.
And Neil Presley up to bat next, and we'll be curious to see what they do with Neil today. Yesterday they put him on 3 times intentionally.
Swung on, and he strikes him out. Looks as though he's finding the strike zone himself, as did Elrod last night, who had control problems in the first inning. And they put him on first base. You answered your question, Randy, as far as Neil Presley. Somewhat disgruntled in the fact that they put him on first, and that's going to bring Judd Chanel, who has problems with curveballs, But Judd came through in the first game last night with a big hit.
You know, that's something when you come up here to play in a state championship ball game and you want to bat so bad, and Neil wants to bat so bad. He wants to contribute to the team, but you know what? Just putting base runners on there is going to contribute. One of these days, that's going to backfire on them, and we're going to have those extra people on there. But you know what, that says a lot for Neil Presley and how the words got around the state about what kind of bat he has.
So true. However, I'm not sure they know that Judd Chanel also is one of the top leaders in the team with RBIs as well as hits. First pitch to him is low inside. However, struggling somewhat in the last few games at bat. He did have a home run against T.R. Miller, and he had a big hit here yesterday.
What do you think about this one?
Presley takes his lead off first, Pierce off third. Here goes Presley. The ball bobbled. Stand up. There's no play. Now runners on second and third. That takes the base hit, would drive in possibly 2 runs.
We're here in the bottom half of the first inning in the state finals of 4A baseball. The Bobcats playing Pleasant Grove Spartans. It's nothing to nothing, but the Bobcats are threatening with runners on second and third.
The ball is 2 balls, no strikes, with 2 outs. The delivery outside, 3-0. One more pitch, and he can load them up here.
Load them up there, and coming up next would be Eric Cox. And Eric Cox has had some big hits in this tournament.
We mentioned Eric Cox liked to hit the straight ball, the fastball. The next pitch, it's outside. Chanel walks. He goes down to first base. There will be a courtesy runner for Chanel. As Coach McBride holds his arms high for timeout. Rashad Tillis running for Judd Chanel. So we have Pierce on third, Presley on second, Tillis on first, Eric Cox, the senior outfielder, now at bat as pressure is mounting on the young sophomore here in the early innings, the first inning with 2 out. The first pitch high outside.
High and outside that time, buddy. And you know what? It's just tough to get up there and really swing before you have a strike. I always hate to see them because I say you got to make things happen. But when a pitcher's got a little bit of control problems, you have to kindly be more careful, I reckon.
Swung on. Strike. And that was a fastball. That's what Cox was looking for. And his timing was off somewhat. He missed it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He definitely took his cut at it, though. I guarantee you that. He got his money worth on his swing.
Ready to go downtown. This pitch outside, ball 2. I really appreciate this umpire. He is much faster than the ones yesterday as far as calling balls and strikes.
And, you know, like we said, we can't tell really from down the first base line exactly what it is.
2 balls, 1 strike. Hamilton delivers slow curveball strike. Man, that one took 3 seconds to get there. Cox watched it all the way. He thought sure it was going to be low. And now we got a 2-2 count with 2 out. Big pitch here by the young sophomore. Bases are loaded. It hurt us last night in the first game. We had bases loaded and could not score. And the pitch swung on, strikeout to end the inning. So both teams threatened in the first here in the championship game. So that's 1 complete inning of play. We'll be back in a moment.
Pleasant Grove, Alabama, and we're playing for the state championship. It's the finals. This is it for all the marbles, as we said over and over and over. In the first inning, Pleasant Grove had 2 base runners. Bobcats loaded the bases up. Neither team was able to push one across. So now we'll be going into the top of the second inning, and batting for Pleasant Grove will be Whiten, Black, and Landrum. D. Jones on the mound for the Bobcats. Judd Chanel behind the plate. All right, D. Jones ready. He takes his wind. It's ball low and outside. Ball 1. Nice little breeze coming in. It's a beautiful day. Crowd seems to be picking up as we go along. Outfield now is getting a lot more people out there. Line drive to left field. Base hit. Eric Cox over with it. He fires it into second base. Brett Hall. And that's a hit for Whiten of Pleasant Grove.
Brandon, there's nothing you can do about that one. It was just a good hit over the third baseman's head and to left field. Cox came around, picked it up, threw it to the second baseman, and held him at first base. So we have a man on first with no outs here in the top of the second.
Dustin Black, the batter now for Pleasant Grove. First pitch, ball high and outside, and that was the first hit of the ball game by Whiten. Although the Bobcats loaded the bases in the first inning, Pleasant Grove had 2 runners on. There was not a hit in the first inning. Most all of them was on walks. But first hit of the ball game by Brandon Whiten. Second pitch, high and outside. Ball 2. D. Jones on the mound. Taking a stretch. Ashley Davis holding runner on at first base. D brings it home, and it's ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Here in the second inning. A lot of pressure on these young men. Bobcats have had a great season. Coming in here playing for all the marbles here in this championship game. D. Jones brings it right down in there for a strike 1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. Runner on first for Pleasant Grove. D. Jones ready, looks in, gets a signal. He brings the ball, foul ball down in the plate, strike 2. Now it's a full count, 3-2.
3-0 and come back to make it full. Very important for this young junior pitcher here. He's pitching for the state championship, a left-hander, and really hasn't pitched all that much, but been in some games this year.
Next pitch.
Ball high.
Little high. Ball 4. Another wall. Whenever you get down to the finals, Buddy Fireman, you have to play 3 games in 2 days. That puts a hurting on your pitching staff. Both teams have pitched their 2 and 3 pitchers, and now then you're going down to your 3rd and 4th pitchers on each team. So we'll find out what we've got deep.
The next batter will be David Landrum. He plays first base. He also bats left-handed. Have runners on second and first.
D. Wine. And strike 1 right by Landrum for a strike.
A good time for a double play ball here. As Landrum last night, I think, came up with 1 hit through 2 ball games.
D. Jones ready. He winds. The pitch, ball. Judge Chanel jumps out. The runners did not attempt to go as Landrum was faking a bunt. I don't know if he was going to actually bunt the ball or he was just faking it. But anyway, he did not. He pulled the bat back, so the count's 1-1. D. Jones takes a stretch. He's ready. Ball's bunted down third base line. And no play anywhere.
You can hear the fans across the way. The bunt was ideal. It went about halfway down the third baseline. It was fielded by D. Jones. He looked to third and then turned and looked to first and threw the ball basically all the way across the infield. And Landrum came down the line quite well and was safe at first base. So that loads the bases with no outs here in the top of the second.
That was just really a perfect bunt. You put the ball right where you had to, and you have Fortson up the bat now for Pleasant Grove. Bases loaded, nobody out. The Bobcats in a little bit of trouble. Looks like the Bobcats now playing back for double play.
Forstrom is the batter. He's the DH for the Spartans, and they play him pretty much straight away. He's a right-handed batter. The infield is up on the corners, back in the middle. They're playing for the double play here early in the ball game. So Ashley Davis up on first base, as well as Josh Kaiser on third, the swinging strike.
Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Second inning. Top half of the second inning. The Bobcats in major problems right now with the bases loaded, nobody out. D. Jones on the mound for the Bobcats.
Remember the last inning, the Bobcats loaded the bases and did not score.
High fly ball to center field, and we may have a play at home plate. Judge Chanel's coming in. I said, Judge Chenell, I didn't mean that at all. I saw two right fielder and left fielder about to run together, and that's Neil Presley, and I was watching them. I didn't know if they called or not. It looked like Chris Gohagen and Neil Presley was coming right at each other, and I was kindly holding my breath, and I had Judge covering home plate. I kind of got a little confused on that one, but it was just a routine fly ball to center field. Neil Presley comes up under the ball, and the runner at third did not even, Buddy, attempt to go home because he knows the arm of Neil Presley.
And it was a routine, but as he started to take the ball out of his glove to make the throw to the infield, it bobbled somewhat, and it was kind of scary there momentarily, but he controlled it. Shivers, the batter.
Last time up, grounded out to shortstop to first. First out of the ball game, and Bobcats need to get out of major problems here. Pleasant Grove got the bases loaded, 1 out, and the batter Scott Shivers, the left fielder.
Again, the infield is up on the corners, back deep, playing for the double play. The ball is hit. High, lofty fly ball. Could be somewhat trouble. Here comes Presley, makes the catch, and again, they hold him at third base. They do not run the runners. They respect Presley's arm, and I tell you, they have reason to.
And Buddy Power, you would think that after two fly balls to center fielder that they would send one of the runners at third base, but neither time they did not send a runner. And I guess that, we talked about knowing about Neil's bat. They undoubtedly know about his arm too.
It would take a perfect throw from center field, and that was approximately 300 feet from home plate, where he caught the ball. And the next pitch is high and inside.
Batter for Pleasant Grove, Brian Atchison, the second baseman. D. Jones on the mound, trying to get out of a major problem. Pleasant Grove had the bases loaded, nobody out. Now the bases still loaded with 2 out. And next pitch right down through there for strike 1.
Because there's 2 out, the infield is backed up all the way now on both corners and in the middle. Again, the outfield's playing somewhat deep. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs. The delivery outside, ball 2.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out here in the top of the second inning. It's all tied up at 0-0. Bases loaded for Pleasant Grove.
We got a feeling it's going to be another barn burner here.
That's what I'm hoping for, really. I hope that's right. D. Jones is ready. He brings. Pop up to the infield. Cam Pierce is coming for it. And then Brent Hall calls him off, and Brent Hall comes out of that. And the sports fans, what a inning. The Bobcats come out of this one. The bases loaded, nobody out, and the Bobcats come out of it with no runs there for Pleasant Grove. So at the end of 1.5 innings, it's the Bobcats 0, Pleasant Grove 0. We'll be right back. And now we're back here at Pleasant Grove, Alabama. Both teams are putting a lot of runners on base. See, Pleasant Grove had 2 the first inning, 3 the second inning for 5 runners on base. They have not pushed anybody across the plate yet. The Bobcats in the first inning had bases. We have bases loaded or just bases loaded? We had bases loaded, couldn't get anybody in. So both teams have put a lot of runners on base.
The only thing, we had bases loaded with 2 outs. The first pitch to Josh Kaiser is a strike. As we pointed out, we had bases loaded with 2 outs. They had bases loaded with no outs, but neither team scored. And the first pitch here in the bottom of the second is a strike to Josh Kaiser. Hamilton takes time, delivers, ball inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. As they play Kaiser pretty much basically straight away.
And Buddy says the first inning, as the game goes along, the people are coming in here, a lot bigger crowd in the outfield.
Swung on. It's hit on the ground to the second baseman. He throws it over to first to Landrum for out number 1 here in the bottom of the second. So Kaiser grounds out to the second baseman. And that will bring up Ashley Davis.
And Ashley Davis will be batting here in the 8th spot. And Ashley Davis had a tremendous game yesterday. As I said earlier, he's a winning pitcher, but I believe that he just pitched a great game and got in the 9th inning, and Eric Cox had to come in. Eric Cox got the win, but Ashley Davis pitched a great game yesterday.
Ashley went swinging, strike 1.
The pitcher may be getting a little stronger, Buddy. We're hoping not, but he may be getting a little stronger here in the second inning.
Both pitchers have struggled somewhat in the early goings. He seems to be finding the strike zone and his curveball a little better as he goes swinging again for strike 2. So 0-2 is the count with 1 out on Ashley Davis. No one on. The next pitch, ground ball, swung on, strike out, but the ball was bobbled by the catcher out in front of the plate and actually beat it out to first base. It actually looked like a bunt somewhat, but the ball actually got by the catcher, hit his shin guard or something, and bounced out in front of the plate. Ashley's on first after a strikeout.
All right, that's what we like, because the pitcher's throwing the ball in the dirt, and so you got a chance to get on as long as they are pitching the ball in the dirt and heading wild. Really, they're wild today.
Now our pitcher, D. Jones, steps in to bat as he looks to Coach Johnny Grimes. Ashley Davis takes his lead off first, moderate, and now another step. The delivery and a bunt by D. Jones. He looks to second. He bobbles, now goes to first base for the out to move the runner up. So D. Jones, the pitcher, does his job, moving Ashley Davis up to second base with 2 out. And Cam Pierce will have to deliver here in order for the Bobcats to score from second.
Bobcats again have
a base hit. He could score as Ashley Davis will take his lead off of second.
Bobcats got a runner on second base again. Second inning in a row. Bobcats have people in scoring position. It has Pleasant Grove in their 2 innings.
First time up, Cam walked. Now the pitch to him, strike 1.
The low curveball breaking down and in there for a strike.
And the curveball for a left-hander breaks right toward the batter, so it's kind of confusing compared to the right-handers that you normally see. The sign, the delivery in the dirt, and actually wanting to go decides to hold up as the ball was bobbled by Black. It was in the dirt. He did a good job just keeping it in front of him.
Sure did. The catcher did a good job again. That ball bounced way out in front of the plate. Into the catcher, stops it. Case keeps Ashley Davis from going to third.
Davis takes a few steps off. And now the ball is swung on through the second shortstop, and he's going to be safe because he missed the ball at first base. Now Cam Pierce goes to second, but better than that, the runner goes home. As the Bobcats scored by Ashley Davis, the ball went into the dugout. They gave him one more base, and he was on third, but that ball hit sharply to the shortstop, deep short, as I might say. The shortstop did a good job fielding it. Landrum could not control the throw.
And, Buddy, it just goes back to showing you what the sacrifice did for us there. You know, I was kind of wondering, one out, we sacrificed that guy down to second base because Johnny Grimes called for sacrifice, and that sacrifice really gave us this run.
Now we got a runner, Cam Pierce, on second base. There's still 2 out. And Brent Hall, the batter, swung on. The ball is hit sharply to the left side. It's going to be caught. I thought it might be in the gap, but caught by Elrod twice. Elrod has caught the fly ball of Brent Hall here in the early innings. So after 2 complete innings of play, the Bobcats go up in the game by the score of 1-0. We'll be back in a moment.
Pleasant Grove, Alabama, Bobcats, Pleasant Grove Spartans. The Bobcats take the lead in the bottom half of the second inning. It's 1-0. Bobcats playing for their first ever state championship. And it's been an exciting weekend. Yesterday, you could not have seen anything more exciting than 2 ball games yesterday. The Bobcats coming out with a thriller, 9-inning, 7-6 win in the first game. Pleasant Grove in the second one, 5-3.
Randy, it's really hard to figure this game out. The Bobcats had bases loaded. The Spartans had bases loaded. Neither team scored. The Bobcats get a runner on first base by the error of a catcher missing the ball on the 3rd strike. He goes around and scores. Now, that is odd, but somehow you wonder, well, shouldn't we have scored with the bases on, loaded as such? But that's baseball.
That's why you go to baseball games and watch what's happening. D. Jones on the mound. D. Jones on the mound for the Bobcats.
Carnes is at bat, the left-hander, the right fielder for the Spartans as he delivers. It's in the dirt, ball 1. Neil Presley has pulled over to the right side of center field, and Cox has now moved into the power alley somewhat in left field as we play the line basically in right field. So they play him to be a pull hitter. Ball inside.
All right, we're getting right back in here with 2 balls, no strikes. And both pitchers, like you said, they're struggling here early in this ball game. Both of them trying to get the ball across the plate, trying to get strikes, but they don't come too regularly.
In the top of the third, and we're going to see if D can go all the way as he takes his sign, the wind-up, the delivery, ball high. 3-0 is the count here in the top of the third.
3 balls, no strikes. Third inning at Pleasant Grove, Alabama for the state championship. Bobcats up 1-0.
A lot of news coverage, news media here today. The hip as such is in this game in Birmingham. Vestavia won back-to-back yesterday. The next pitch is called strike one. So
I didn't know that.
1 strike.
Vestavia Hills win yesterday,
They
state
beat
championship?
Phoenix City back-to-back yesterday.
What were the scores of those games?
6-5, and I don't know what the other one was to win it. But,
good game.
They won both. They swept Phoenix City. By the way, Pleasant Grove had beat Vestavia one time during the year, and the Phoenix City team lost to the Bobcats. A high fly ball going to the right side. It's going to be out of here. They talk about power. He connected on that one, and he hit it to the right side at 375 and almost hit the scoreboard. So that quickly evened the score in the top of the third as Shane Carnes shows power as he connected on a fastball down the middle.
Pretty power, and quick as that ball was hit, we knew it was gone. And I know Chris Cohagen's in right field, and he really didn't even hardly turn around as the ball was hit over the 370 feet fence, and it was still going the last time we saw it. And so that ties this ball game up at 1-1.
And he'll be followed by the guy that hit a big one last night, almost in the same spot, and that is Andy Elrod, the center fielder for the Spartans. He also bats on the left side, and we play him a big shift. By that I mean Presley moves even farther to the right and down the line, and backed up is Chris Cohagen in right field. Cox is in left field, but in the power alley near the 370-foot sign.
Umpire call timeout.
Grimes calls time.
And I hear the fans over there from Pleasant Grove hollering at the coaches when they go on the field. They holler at them. They, you know, you get their tell. Their fans, like if I've been hearing that lately on TV, some of them may holler them out, take him out, take him in, take him out, put him in. You know, the fans enjoy it, buddy, don't they?
Well, they've been here before. This is the third year in a row. They were runner-ups year before last year state champions, and now this year in the championship game again. So they certainly know what it's like to be in the state championship game. By the way, the first time ever for the Opp Bobcats in baseball or any other sport at Opp High School. Certainly feels good, Randy.
It does. It's been an enjoyable weekend, too, buddy. I tell you what, I've enjoyed yesterday, and so far still enjoying today, but it was a real exciting game yesterday. It'd been nice if we could have won both of them, but this is what baseball is about. It's supposed to go in a 3-game series when you're playing for the finals.
Birmingham News and the Post-Herald was definitely favoring Pleasant Grove. By all means, they talked about a sweep, and certainly we've gained a lot of respect here in talking to the Pleasant Grove people. Ball inside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, with no outs. It's all tied up in the top of the third.
2 balls, no strikes. D. Jones on the mound, Judge Chenell behind the plate, and Pleasant Grove crowd came to life on that big home run by Carnes.
D takes a long time looking at the signs from Judge Chenell and throws a ball wide outside. So they're trying to pitch him outside, actually. I heard Presley talk to Coach Grimes. Their intent was to pitch Elrod outside, not to let him hit the power zone. This one is high, so he walks him. 4 straight balls, and the intent there was not to give him anything good. He's had 16 home runs over the year. The next batter will be Richie Robertson.
Richie Robinson's another big one, and time after time they come in here with somebody powerful with a bat. But you know, when you go to the state championship game, you got people that can swing that bat and can pitch, and that's what we are. We're down to the finals in state championship. That time, D. Jones outside corner with a little curveball, strike 1 on Robertson.
The wind has shifted somewhat here. Now it's blowing from left field across to first base, and it's approximately 5, 7, 8 miles per hour. And the delivery outside.
1 1 ball, 1 strike. Third inning, all knotted up here at Pleasant Grove, 1-1. Got Mike Russell. He's pacing now a little bit, back and forth. Looks like he's getting a little nervous. I don't know if he's nervous about the ball game or nervous about the money. How he's going to pay for this thing? I can't figure it out yet.
Elrod takes a lead off first base. A high fly ball coming right at us and over the.
Buddy Pine, let me tell you something. That foul ball was coming right at us, and Mike Russell here, Charles Fulmer, let us borrow his truck out here to put his camera on, and he said it better not get hit. You ought to see Mike Russell running because that he had to guard the truck, and a councilman, Alston Davis, over there could be a big expense. So we got a lot of people guarding this truck.
Elrod takes the lead off first. Now the look is in the dirt to Richards Robertson as Judge Chanel comes up with it, and Elrod stays at first. Now there's 2 balls, 2 strikes with no outs here in the top of the third.
Top of the third inning, nobody out. Pleasant Grove got a runner on first base again.
The right-handed hitter steps in. They play him deep and straight away. It swung on, a high fly ball going deep to center field and almost falling down before Neil Presley. It fell quicker than he anticipated, but he caught it off his shoestrings. A good catch there. The ball really just ducktailed on him.
That ball died on Neil Presley, and he'll come in after the inning over and he'll say, just make it exciting for the fans, but made a routine play out of it.
Those are the camera shots. The next batter will be Brandon Whiten, who is the shortstop with 1 out, and the first pitch to him is a strike.
He singled last time up. D. Jones on the mound for the Bobcats. It's all tied up 1-1 here in the third inning. 1 man on base. D. Jones is ready. Takes a stretch.
Swung on. A hard hit ball out into left center in the power alley. Chasing it is Eric Cox. Neil Presley. Presley up with it. Here comes Elrod around third. And a stand-up double for Whiten as Elrod crosses the plate as they get it back to the infield. Just a sharp hit ball into the power alley. At the 370 sign, it was Presley to come up with the ball against the fence and threw it back in, but not before. Elrod scored from first base. Whiten stands up at second. And we have 1 out with a man on second. And the next batter will be Dustin Black, but not before Coach Johnny Grimes brings in the senior center fielder and pitcher, Neil Presley. Randy? He wanted to go as far as he could with D. Jones, and D went 2 good innings for us, worked his way out of trouble. Now he will go to right field. Gohagen will go to left. Eric Cox goes to center, and on the mound will be Neil Presley. Why don't we take a break here while he tosses his warm-up?
Excuse me.
We'll be back in a moment.
Grove, Alabama, state finals, state championship game 4A classification. The Bobcats 23-7 on the year, playing the past state champions Pleasant Grove Spartans. It's 2-1 in favor of Pleasant Grove here in the top half of the third inning. And the fans are wanting to play ball. And the umpire walks out on the mound, breaks them up, and they say, let's get with it. And Judge Chanel is still out talking to the pitcher. And we're about ready to go. Now then it'll be Neil Presley on the mound for the Bobcats. Judge Chanel behind the plate. Pleasant Grove's got a runner on second base, which is Whiten. He just had a double to drive in a run, and Pleasant Grove has 2 runs here in the top half of the third inning. Neil Presley on the mound for the Bobcats. He takes his stretch, and he's ready. Fastball right in there for a strike. Oh, no balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the third inning. Neil Presley looks in, gets a signal, and now he's ready. Down the pitch. Ground ball to shortstop. Cam peers over. He bobbles the ball, picks it up, gets it back in, but I do not believe Cam would have had a play on that one anywhere. It was hit right between third baseman and shortstop. Cam got over and got to the ball, but I don't believe he could have thrown the runner out at first base because it was all the way in the hole. So that just about have to be a hit there. So that'll bring up David Langdrum. David Langdrum and Pleasant Grove Got runners on first and third and one out. Bobcats needs to come out of another big jam here. First pitch, fastball. Outside low for ball one. Neil Presley in relief of D. Jones here in the third inning. Spartans coming up with 2 runs here in the top half of the third. Next pitch, foul ball, straight back over. So it's Neil Presley on the mound. 1 ball, 1 strike. On first base, Dustin Black for Pleasant Grove. And over at third, Whiting. Neil Presley's ready. He takes his stretch. He comes to first base and we gets away from the first baseman. And 1 run will be in. And the runner goes down to second base as we thought we had him picked off. It looked like he was picked off, but the ball got away from the first baseman. And that got another run in here. It sure looked like he was picked off at first base, but we tried to get a tag just a little early and we couldn't get it down on him. And so that's another run for Pleasant Grove. It's 3-1. Neil Presley on the mound. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pop up to the infield. Cam Pierce calls for it. Looks like Cam's up under it. And he makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So now we have 2 out here in the third inning. Pleasant Grove pushed 3 runs across. We got a runner on second base, which is Black. And on the mound, Neil Presley getting ready to pitch to Ken Fortson. First ball low in the dirt. Judge Chanels blocks it, holds the runner at second base.
Well, we worked ourselves in trouble here, Randy, in the top of the third. And now trailing by 2, 3-1, as Neil Presley looks at the DH. The first pitch was a ball.
Second pitch, low and outside, fastball, 2 balls, no strikes, 2 men out, 1 runner on second base. Third inning, Pleasant Grove up 3-1 in a state championship game. Neil Presley on the mound. He's ready now. Takes his stretch, and there's a pitch. Ball low.
He's missing the strike zone. Looks just like a little bit. He's a little low on each pitch.
Just off just a little bit. 3 balls, no strikes. Neil Presley's ready. Fires it right down through there. Strike 1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Neil Presley on the mound. Judge Chanel behind the plate. Takes a stretch. Fires down in the dirt. Ball 4. That's 2 walks in this inning here. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Scott Shivers. Third inning, 2 out. 3 runs across for Pleasant Grove.
Previously, Shivers has grounded out and flied out as he steps in for the 3rd time this afternoon.
Neil Presley looks in, takes his signal from Judge Chanel, takes his stretch, and here's the pitch. Strike 1. Right down through there. No balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Next pitch on its way, breaking curveball. And I tell you one thing, Neil took a lot off of that pitch that time, and the batter was already swinging before the ball got there, and just did get a little touch of it.
And that puts him in the hole 0-2 with 2 out. We got runners on second and first.
Got him in the hole. There's a pitch, a pop up behind the plate. Judge Chanel up under it.
Backs up and makes the catch.
All right, that was the 3rd out of the inning.
A good inning for the Spartans as they scored 3 runs.
He scored 3 runs on 2 hits, and I don't even really call an error in that inning.
2 walks also, Randy.
Right. All right, so at the end of 2.5 innings, it's Pleasant Grove 3, Bobcats 1. We'll be right back. We're back at Pleasant Grove. We'll score Pleasant Grove Spartans 3, the Bobcats 1. Going in now to the third inning, the bottom of the third. Chris Gohagan, Neil Presley, Judd Chenell will be the first three batters.
As Chris steps in, last time he K'd, and certainly he wants to correct that. As Hamilton looks, delivers the ball. It is low. Ball one. Chris Gohagan has hit the baseball good this year, and that's why he's batting in the number 3 spot. As again, Hamilton delivers, and it's called strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. A man that hits number 3 puts bat on the ball.
Sure does. That was right down through there, and Chris has had some big hits this year.
He was concerned about the strikeouts last night. Swung on, big curveball, missed it. And that's 2 strikes, 1 ball, 2 strikes. They play back deep on the infield with no one on. And pretty much straight away in the outfield against Chris Gohagan. Chris out in front of the plate looking for that big curveball. Now it falls short into the dirt. Right behind the plate for 2-2 count.
Buddy, that's what's given us a lot of trouble today. The pitcher throws a lot of junk balls, and really they look like they're going to be strikes, but they break before they get there into the dirt. As again.
Swung on in the dirt, gets away from the catcher. Here comes Chris Gohagan, and the ball will be not thrown at all. He's safe at first. That helped us one time before. Let's see if it does again. Those things come back to haunt you. As Gohagan, who struck out, gets on first base.
And one thing about it, Buddy Pyron, Neil Presley, I don't believe they'll be able to put him on this time because we have a runner on first base, and they won't be able to intentionally walk him, but the wind is blowing in hard from left field.
Left to first as we look at more or less south, from home plate southeast. So it's blowing basically from the east as Neil looks at the first pitch, strike one.
Hey!
He takes the lead off first. A good lead by Chris Gohagan. Don't be surprised if Coach Johnny Grimes does not move him, but he wants to also let Presley bat. If they move him, Presley will be walked.
That's right. You move him down to second base.
Gohagan takes his lead. Another step. Now throw back to first. Not much of an effort as he throws overhanded. Have you noticed the difference in his delivery from the first inning to the third inning? He's not throwing as on top as he was. He's moved it to a 3/4, and he has more control.
Doing a lot better job now. He's about his move that time. Now, probably be wrong as it goes along, but he didn't have a very good move to first base.
Another step by Gohagan. Now, in the dirt. Ball, Black just saves it out in front of him. Gohagan could have trotted to second that time. Black was on his knees and could not find the ball. But you know, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, buddy, what we were talking about before, the pitcher's throwing so many breaks before the plate, and all the pitchers, they sure look like they're going to be a strike, but they're falling, boy, they fall off the table.
Neil Presley, about even with the plate. As the ball is thrown, it's hit sharply over to third base, looking to second. He throws it. He's going to be out at second, safe at first. As Gohagan took him out at second base and delayed the throw of the second baseman, Brian Atchison. Now we have Neil Presley on first with 1 out. And the batter coming to the plate will be Judd Chenell. We have a pinch runner in Presley because Presley is now the pitcher. Some discussion with the umpire at first base about the pinch runner. And now here comes Jerry Jones to replace Neil Presley at first. As Judd Chenell will step in against Mike Hamilton, the sophomore pitcher.
We're in the third inning here at Pleasant Grove. It's Pleasant Grove 3, Bobcats 1. Bobcats got a runner on first base, and Judd Chenell at the plate.
Sun keeps going in and out here, the cumulus clouds above us. The pitch to Chenell, low, ball 1.
They gave him back.
It's not a factor like it was yesterday as it got lower in the afternoon. It was certainly blinding the outfielders as they were looking directly into the sun. Mike Hamilton looks to home, now to first, now back to home and delivers. Swung on. It's more or less a bunt. Going down the third baseline and picked up foul. It was a swinging bunt as such. more or less of, excuse me.
He is trying to check his swing on that one, and he could not hold the bat back, and almost had a pretty good butt down the third base line.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and we have a runner, Jones, on first base, Jerry Jones. They play Judge Chanel deep in the outfield straight away, as well as on the infield. They're holding Jones on first, of course. Third baseman is back deep. Swung on. It's a high fly ball to the near side. Right at the first baseman. Here comes the second baseman. He finally calls him off and makes a jumping catch right behind the first baseman. So a pop out to Atchison.
Hey, buddy, have you seen that before? Now, I've seen a lot of baseball, and I know the shortstop goes behind second and behind third, catches them and calls them off. But I don't believe it's the second day in a row. Yesterday they ran together. I don't believe I've ever seen anywhere that looks like they've got it playing that the second baseman covers anything he can, and he's even catching them in foul territory right behind second base. I don't understand it.
Unless the first baseman has problems with pop flies, it's known fact maybe. Hamilton delivers to the next batter, Eric Cox. Cox fouls it down third baseline.
But you know what, buddy? Those both of them were just routine plays for first baseman. I mean, they're not 3 yards behind first base, and 2 days in a row, the second baseman comes all the way from second base and makes the play.
I don't understand it. It's something in their defense, I guess. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. We got a runner on first. We need to get him on second. Look out with 1 strike. He's playing close, and Eric Cox takes a swinging strike.
And that's one of the few fastballs that Hamilton has reared back and brought. I tell you, that's the fastest one I believe he's thrown today.
With no better move than he has demonstrated to first base, I'm surprised that Jones does not get off further. He's got 3 steps, 4 steps at the most. Now he is in the dirt for a ball. That's one you should have went on. However, he did not do so. And it's a 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 out here. Jones playing very conservative on first.
Bobcats trail 3-1. Bottom half of the third inning. Bobcats the home team today on account of a flip of the coin.
Eric Cox with 1-2 count. The pitch, and it is called ball outside as he took it. And I tell you, it was one of those roundhouser type curves that could have been going either way.
Yeah, the fans from Pleasant Grove was wanting it very much. They was hollering at the umpires.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Cox as they play him deep. Now Jones takes the lead, moderate somewhat. Swung on. It's hit over to the second baseman. Second base over to first for out number 3. A ground out to the second baseman over to the first.
Get him next time.
As Bobcats will be running back onto the field. We'll be back in a moment. This is Bobcat baseball. We're back and ready for the top of the 4th. The first man will be Brian Atchison as the Spartans sent 8 men to the plate the last inning, scored 3 runs, one of those on a home run, and then a base hit as the score is 3-1 here in the top of the 4th. On the mound for the Bobcats is Neil Presley, and he'll be facing Brian Atchison to start the top of the 4th. Judge Chanel, who's gone all the way for catcher for the out Bobcats in all 3 games, behind the plate, now putting his mask on and calling the signals for Neil Presley as Presley looks and takes his windup and delivers. First pitch high, ball 1. Neil has the speed. Sometimes control is a problem, and the second pitch is called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Neil Presley stands about 6'3", weighs about 210, so he's a big guy out there on the mound. Wind up, and his delivery is swung on. It's hit sharply over to the right side through Brent Hall and the first baseman. D. Jones picks it up, throws it back into the infield for a base hit. So they start the 4th where they left off in the 3rd with a base hit.
Neil Presley on the mound for the Bobcats. Bobcats trail 3-1 in the 4th inning of the state finals. Top half of the 4th inning.
D. Jones backs up now in right field as the next man up will be Shane Carnes, and Carnes is the guy that hit one over the fence at 375 the last time up. At that time, he tied the score. It was 1-0. He made it 1-1, and then with some help, they went ahead 3-1. First pitch to him was ball.
Ball in the dirt.
Atchison on first. Now takes the lead. Throwback. It is safe at first. Again, Atchison a lead. This time going to home. Ball outside.
2 balls, no strikes. 4th inning. The Bobcats lead 3-1. Trail 3-1. Make that trail 3-1. And Pleasant Grove's got a runner on first base, and Neil Presley on the mound with Judge Chanel behind the plate. And the pitch right down through there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. On the batter, Carnes. And if we know Carnes can hit it a long way, but he can go down swinging too. That would be nice. Presley's ready. He fires down through there just a little bit low. 3 balls now, 1 strike from Neil Presley to Carnes. Runner on first, 4th inning, 3 balls, 1 strike, no out. Bobcats trail 3-1. Neil Presley gets his sign. He's ready. He takes a stretch. And the pitch. Another one down low for a walk. So all of a sudden, Bobcats in a little bit of trouble again. Runners on first and second. And by the way, back home, Charles Donaldson, never worry. Mary Donaldson and Jeannie Loggins, they're here. They said tell you they got here before the game, and they took their time, and they didn't pass anybody. But Mary Donaldson and Jeannie Loggins, they are here in the stands and well and enjoying the ball game.
The next batter will be Andy Elrod with runners on first and second. Atchison leads off second, Carnes off first, and the pitch to Elrod inside.
And well, by the way, Charles, Mary said go ahead and plant the peanuts now. Don't worry about it. She's here, so get out there and work a little bit. Make some money for her where she can spend it.
A lot of crowd in the outfield as they assemble along the fence in the outfield. Swung on, ball hit sharply over to the right side and going to left field. Picked up by D. Jones, and they sending the runner all the way to home from second, and the man on first goes to third as Elrod comes up with a base hit. The second base hit of this inning off of Neil Presley as they up the score 4-1 now with runners on the corners and no outs.
We're in the 4th inning.
Randy, we're not feeling them.
Nope. They are hitting the ball, but we knew when we came in here they had a good hitting ball club, and when you're playing the last year's state champion, you know what you're going up against. And like we said, buddy, we was not given any chance at all to win this thing. All the papers had predicted us to be gone yesterday, but we're still hanging around, and we're definitely not out today.
A comment from one of the Pleasant Grove fans, we have patience, and that was demonstrated yesterday with the ball game coming back, them going ahead, coming back, and us going ahead, and so forth. So we had more patience than any team they ever had. We have patience, but we need scores here as have runners on the corners, and the second pitch to Robinson is a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. I'm sure Coach Johnny Grimes is wondering now, if he gets on base, what do you do?
Nobody out in the 4th inning. Nobody out. 2 balls, no strikes. Bobcats trail 4-1. Runners on first and third.
Swung on a high fly ball going to the right center. It's being chased by Eric Cox. Cox comes up with it. Tagged by the third baseman, and he goes in sliding at home plate. Actually, that was by Carnes, not the third baseman. But another score on the board is 5-1 here in the championship game. The third and final game of the series between the Bobcats and the Pleasant Grove Spartans.
And, buddy, that was definitely deep enough that you will not have a play at the plate. And the center fielder, Eric Cox, held the runner at first base, which is good. A lot of times you'll throw into home and give the guy a chance to go to second. And so at least we held the runner at first.
The next man will be Brandon Whiten.
Foul ball. That time the fastball fouled straight back. And so far today, Whiten, he singled the second inning, and then he doubled in the 3rd inning. And he scored 1 run.
2 for 2 and scored 1 run.
I noticed Buddy Pine looking at my scorekeeping. He don't understand my bookkeeping, but that's all right. Next pitch in the dirt for a ball.
Andy Elrod decides to hold up instead of challenging Judd Chanel, who bobbled the ball in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. Here in the top of the 4th, throw over to first. He's back in time. Whiten swings, strike.
Good fastball by Neil Presley. He reared back now and put some mustard on that one there and threw it right by him for a strike. Great series here at Pleasant Grove. The Bobcats and Pleasant Grove Spartans, 2 good baseball teams.
Ball inside. Now we have 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. The shortstop is batting. That, again, is Whiten, Brandon Whiten. Andy Elrod takes a good lead off of first. He's gone, swung on. The ball is hit sharply into the hole on the left side, picked up by Chris Cohagen, and they hold him at third. We have runners on the corners again. As the runner was going, Cam Pierce came over to receive the throw if there would have been one, but the ball was swung on and hit in the gap, in the hole, out into left field. So perfect timing is what you call the hit and run.
All right, Buddy Pyron, Coach Grimes calls timeout again, and let's see what we talk about here now. Is we got runners on first and third and 1 out, and let's see if we're going to have a pitching change or if we're just going to talk this thing over and see what's coming up. Next one, Dustin Black. He's walked and singled. Today has not scored a run. Buddy Pyron, we need to do something about getting them out.
Well, I see Coach talking to Cam Pierce. Cam is taking his glove off his hand, so he may be the next man he wants to go with. And now he's talking to the umpire briefly. And Cam is going to the mound, so it'll be Cam Pierce, the senior shortstop and now pitcher for the Bobcats. Josh Kaiser will move over to short. And Neal probably will go to third base. One of these dire situations for Coach Grimes and the Bobcats. Trailing 5-1 with runners on first and third. We have 1 out here in the top of the 4th, and a lot of baseball to be played. Why don't we pause just a moment? We'll be back with more Bobcat baseball. Okay, we're back at Pleasant Grove again, and Cam Pierce will be on the mound for the first time in this ball game. As he's looking at a dire situation, he's got to get 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. As we just noticed the crowd around today is shirt sleeved as such and with shorts on, and I tell you, it's a beautiful day in North Alabama. The next batter stepping in is Black, the catcher. First pitch to him is ball inside as he backs out against the first pitch. So we got runners on first and third. Elrod's on third. Whiten, the ball is swung on. It's hit over to Cam Pierce. Pierce missed it as, pardon me, that's Josh Kaiser missed it as he tried to make the play on a run. And so Elrod scores as Whiten goes to third, Black to first. So somewhat of a dismay here as Josh Kaiser tried to make the throw on the run, missed the ball in trying to scoop it up. And Neil Presley is getting upset. He says, we're going to win the state championship. We got to stop this. It's 6-1, and let's go good now. The big senior taking control on the field.
Yeah!
And that's what we need to do. Let's go.
Top of the 4th inning, 6-1 Pleasant Grove.
Did his job. He hit the ball on the ground for the double play ball. But Josh trying to make that play, missed it and got through him and went into the outfield. 1 run scored, and the next batter will be David Landrum. Landrum, a left-hander, first pitch, ball. Again, there's 1 out with runners on the corners.
Buddy Byron, this has been a tough inning for the Bobcats. Bobcats trail now 6-1 here in the 4th inning.
And it's Kendall Taylor going to be warming up. The next pitch was a strike and bobbled by Judge Janelle, but the runners did not advance. That shows evidence they respect Judge Janelle's arm.
Sure do. 1 ball, 1 strike in the 4th inning. And it's the top half of the 4th inning, too. Out Bobcats on defense. Pleasant Grove got runners on 1st and 3rd. Cam Pierce takes his stretch. Ball low. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 runners on. Neil Presley 3rd. Josh Kaiser at shortstop. Ben Hall 2nd. Ashley Davis at 1st for the Bobcats on the infield. Cam Pierce is ready. Ground ball to first baseman. Ashley Davis takes it, steps on first for the easy out.
He did all he could do, Randy. He caught the bouncing ball, stepped on first. The runner had to go at first base, so he could not make a play. And the runner on 3rd held up. So we have now 2 out with runners on 2nd and 3rd. And that brings up the DH, Ken Forstrom. And let's see, now he is the 7th batter, the 8th batter in this inning. They had 8 last inning, 8 this inning, so let's hope this is the last one.
All right, Cam Pierce is ready. He fired across there, ball outside. 4th inning here at Pleasant Grove, and Pleasant Grove, the last 2 innings, have come up with all 6 of their runs in the 3rd and 4th. And so all of a sudden, they're ahead 6-1, and Cam Pierce is ready. Takes a stretch, and he brings it home for a ball high and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Cam Pierce on the mound for the Bobcats now. Judge Chanel still behind the plate.
Neil Presley holding the runner at 3rd. All the others infielders are back. The ball is swung on a high fly ball, climbing, going to center field. On the chase is Eric Cox. He cannot get it. Bounces once. He picks it up, throws it into the infield. And let's see, 2 runs are going to be scoring as Forstrom has hit a stand-up double, and that ups the score to 8-1. Things are exploding here in the top of the 4th. They've scored 5 runs on how many hits, Randy?
They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. 4 hits here in the 4th inning, and also 5 runs for Pleasant Grove.
With 2 outs in the top of the 4th, Cam Pierce, the pitcher, will be facing Scott Shivers. And the first pitch is a called strike. Shivers is the left fielder this afternoon.
Cam Pierce on the mound for the Bobcats. He takes his stretch, and he's ready. And a pitch. Ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 out. Runner on second base for Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove coming up with 2 big innings here.
The previous hit by Forstrom was approximately 385 feet as it was picked up by Eric Cox. Cox was playing up somewhat and gave chase but could not run it down.
Right up against the fence, too.
The next pitch was a strike. We got 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cam Pierce looks and now delivers, swung on, foul back.
That was a good pitch that time. It was a changeup, curveball, outside, and the batter just could get a little touch of it to foul it off.
He had him fooled, but he got a piece of it. A 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count with 2 out. Pierce looks to second, now to home, and he delivers call strike 3 to strike him out. Shivers goes down, standing up for the 3rd out, but not before 5 big runs cross the plate here in the 4th inning, and that ups the score to 8-1 in favor of the Spartans as the Bobcats come to bat. We'll be back in a moment. Okay, as we are back at Pleasant Grove, and we find ourselves in a hole, but we have several more innings, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. We got to come up with a formula to stop their bats and to increase ours, as Josh Kaiser will try to redeem the last inning with a big E as he came up from shortstop, missed the ball, and run scored. But now he's at bat as Hamilton, who has the lead, takes his first pitch, is called ball. Kendall Taylor comes back after loosening up from the bullpen here near us. Next pitch is still ball 2. It's low inside. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Excuse me, no outs. They got 2 outs on the scoreboard, but hey, give us credit. We just started. This is our first batter. Next pitch is called strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike now. They still have 2 strikes on the scoreboard. 2 outs rather. The next pitch inside, so we got 3-1. Josh Kaiser probably look at this one quite well. It's got to be what he wants to be able to hit it. He wants to get on base. Hamilton, the left-hander, looks, delivers, swung on. The ball is hit, and it's foul. So that's going to make it full now with 3 balls, 2 strikes. As he swung at the ball, trying to hit it away, missed it, but it went out in front of the plate and dribbled out of bounds. Dribbled foul off the right side, going down the first baseline as he was charging himself toward first base. So a full count now as Josh Kaiser steps back in, looks at Hamilton. Hamilton to the catcher and now delivers outside. He walks. So the first man up for the Bobcats here in the bottom of the 4th. We got to get something started. Josh Kaiser goes down to first base on a walk.
But this pitcher for Pleasant Grove hasn't really been throwing strikes. We've been helping him out a little bit on that curveball. We just need to stay up there and use our head, and I believe we can get some runners on the bases.
Most definitely, and I'm sure that Coach Johnny Grimes may be saying the same thing in the dugout prior to going back out on the field. The next batter for the Bobcats will be Ashley Davis. Ashley really likes those curveballs. It's a bunt. Right back to the pitcher. He goes, looks to second, and he's going to be safe. No! Hey! Boy, oh boy, what a call. He was safe by at least a foot or 2. He called him out, and that was a good call for Pleasant Grove, not so good for the Bobcats. Everybody in the park knew he was safe, and he called him out. So Kaiser is out. Ashley Davis is on first from the bunt. It was a fielder's choice. He went to second, called him out. I hate to say, that was the first one I disagree with this afternoon.
That call there, the umpire won't even talk to Coach Grimes. He's shaking heads, and, he just said, I'm not even going to talk to you. But, in our angle, and we'll see how it looks on TV, but I think the umpire made a mistake.
The Pleasant Grove folks over here, they said there wasn't no doubt about it. He was safe. It wasn't even a call.
Well, umpires make mistakes, though. They sure do, and that looks like he definitely made a mistake there.
It's still out number 1 up on the board, D. Jones. Here comes Ashley Davis. Swung on, the ball is hit over the second baseman's head. Davis goes around second, going to third. Here comes D to first base, and we got runners on the corners with 1 out. Good hit by D. Jones. The hit and run was in effect. Ashley Davis charging toward second, now is on third.
All right, Bobcats got something going here now with 1 out. We got runners on first and third, and we let things happen. We got to make things happen here now, Buddy Pine.
Boy, that out even looms bigger right now because he would have been in home with a hit like that.
It sure does, but the thing about it is what's so bad about it, if when they make a bad call and all, it goes against you, but you got to buckle up and go. So we got to now make something good happen of this.
Next man up will be Cal Pierce. The leadoff batter for the Bobcats steps in. The senior shortstop, now pitcher, will be facing Mike Hamilton, the sophomore. D. Jones, he takes a lead off first. There's a lead off third, a big lead. Now he goes. As Jones goes, they throw it back to third. He's safe. Jones stands up at second. Ashley Davis took a big lead off third, but got back in time as the catcher Black threw it back to Robinson at third base.
All right, we're in the 4th inning. The bottom of the 4th, it's 8-1 in favor of Pleasant Grove. Bobcats making things happen now. We got runners on second and third with 1 out.
A hit here would score 2. Cam Pierce looks, and he takes the pitch for a ball. So it's ball 1, ball 2. The second ball in a row to Cam Pierce. And as the coach for Pleasant Grove wants to talk things over and call timeout momentarily.
So we'll see now then whether the Pleasant Grove going to decide to change pitcher or not. The coach is going all the way to mound, so I kindly wonder about what might be going to go on.
Leading 8-1, does that show that you kind of respect the Bobcats' ability to get back in the ball game?
You definitely do, definitely. I'll agree with that. I believe they got a lot of respect for the Bobcats after yesterday.
I would say right now the Bobcats are out of the game, and unless they have a good inning here, then they got to get back. Being trailing 8-1, you kind of feel like you're in control of things. But the coach for Pleasant Grove certainly wanted to talk things over with his young sophomore pitcher.
It's 2 balls and no strikes. We in the bottom half of the 4th inning. It's 8 for Pleasant Grove, 1 for the Bobcats.
Coach Johnny Grimes giving instructions to Cam Pierce as well while there was timeout. And now Hamilton, he takes, delivers, ball high, ball 3. And, of course, I know that he's going to have to throw a strike to Cam Pierce before Cam will be swinging.
3 balls, no strikes. Ball 4.
Ball 4. 4 straight balls there. And I'm sure things are now
getting a little nervous over there in the Pleasant Grove dugout. Now,
what I was going to comment as Richie Robinson makes a move toward home, the pitcher's mound to talk to the young sophomore, being a senior himself, knowing what it's like as of yesterday when bases are loaded, and there's 1 out. They would love a double play here. They still have the opportunity to get out with a double play. And the batter is Brent Hall. Brent certainly is anxious. He's had 2 fly balls to the center field. The ball is in the dirt. Davis goes back to third, does not attempt home. Ball 1.
And I imagine we'll have to make him come in there. I don't believe we'll be swinging any bad ones now. We'll make him pitch to us, try to get this runner at third base home. A walk would mean a run for us.
He came over the top again on that one. Big lead on first. The ball swung on, hit sharply to the left side, over to the second baseman. Now going to first base. He's safe at first base. The run scores by Ashley Davis, but he's out at second as Cam took Atchison out of the play at second base to force the throw late. So the Bobcats did score 1 with runners on first and third. D. Jones is on third, Brent Hall's on first, and the batter will be Chris Gohagen, and Coach Johnny Grimes is going to change things up here.
All right, we got a pinch batter now. I believe he said, I heard him holler Jerry Jones. Let's see if who the pitch batter will be.
All right. The reason possibly is because of Chris not being able to hit the ball last night. Today has 2 strikeouts, but was able to get on the base last time because the strikeout got past the catcher and he raced to first base and was safe. Jared Jones will be the hitter, the pinch hitter for Chris Gohagen. As he comes in, he looks with 2 outs, runners on first and third. Brent Hall's on first. D. Johns on third. And being a new hitter, pinch hitter here, they play him kind of shallow in right, back deep in center, straight away, and fairly deep in left. The infield is holding the... Here goes Brent Hall, and back to third as they made the throw to third rather than to second, as we have now runners on second and third, as Coach Grimes did not hesitate to send the runner.
Oh, we got runners in scoring position now on second and third. Bobcats trail 8-2 here in the 4th inning. We need a good base hit.
A hit here would score 2, and the pitch is low. 2 balls, no strikes.
Make him come in there now. Make him pitch to us. No ball or 2 balls. That's 2 balls, no strikes. 2 out here in the 4th inning.
I'm sure Coach Johnny Grimes is giving him the sign to take until he has at least strike 1. He's having control problems here in the bottom of the 4th as well. We need the bats to work too to up the score. And it is strike 1 as he was taking all the way. So we're now looking at 2 balls, 1 strike.
Pitcher's ready.
Swung on, and he missed it. Strike 2, 2-2 count with 2 outs. This is a biggie here for the Bobcats as well as Pleasant Grove. Certainly a hit would make a lot of difference. Mike Hamilton. Going all the way for Pleasant Grove. Swing. The ball is hit out into left field, left center, and is caught by Elrod, backing up 2 steps. But he got pretty good bat on the ball as Elrod was there to make the out for the Pleasant Grove Spartans. And that's to end the 4th inning, as the score after 4 is Pleasant Grove 8, the Bobcats 2. We'll be back in a moment. Cam Pierce, who came in last inning, back on the mound as he looks at the top of the 5th. Well, the 5th, 6th, and 7th, we need 6 runs to tie it, and we need 7 runs to win it. And we need to shut down the bats for the Pleasant Grove Spartans, who have come to life here against the Bobcats with their bats this afternoon. Again, a beautiful day in North Alabama, right outside of Birmingham at Pleasant Grove, suburb of Birmingham, actually, in Jefferson County, some 210 miles away from Opp, Alabama. The first man up will be Atchison.
Cam Pierce fires the first one in there for a ball. Ball low and outside. Bobcats in a heap of trouble here in the state finals of 4A baseball, trailing 8-2 in the 5th inning. Cam Pierce on the mound. He takes his windup and he brings it outside and high for a ball. So it's ball 1, no strikes in the 5th inning. State championship baseball. Ball 2, 2 balls. And that made it 3 balls. So 3 balls, no strikes. And that's the 4th ball. So the first batter here, Atchison, walks for Pleasant Grove. And the 5th inning, Pleasant Grove's got a runner on first base with nobody out, and they're leading 8-2. Cam Pierce on the mound, Judd Chanel behind the plate. Cam Pierce, he's ready, takes a stretch, fires down low inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Beautiful day here in Pleasant Grove. A little wind, a little breeze blowing. It makes it not so hot. Runner on first, Atchison. Pitch, and he's out. The good hit there by the dead ball. What happened that time? The batter Carnes hit a line shot. I mean, a line shot. Atkinson had no chance of getting out of the way, and it hit him for an out, and that put Carnes on first base, so it made a dead ball once it hit the runner. And really true, the batter gets a hit out of that.
Randy, that, I tell you what, that has to be a very painful hit. The ball was laced right against the leg of Atchison, the second baseman, as he was attempting to go from first to second as the ball was hit sharply, and he couldn't move out of the way. It knocked him to the ground, and he was automatically out.
So we got a runner on first base still, but now we have 1 out with Elrod at bat. Andy Elrod, center fielder. And a long fly ball to right field. Let's see if D. Jones can get back to it. He's back to the fence, but it's gone. Home run, Andy Elrod. He hit that on a long way again, and that is a 2-run homer there by Andy Elrod.
Randy, initially I didn't think it was going to carry as good as it did. It seemed like it wasn't hit that sharply just off the end of the bat, but it kept carrying and carrying and carrying, and actually D. Jones then looks up at where's the fence, and then all of a sudden it goes over the fence about 10 feet. That's his 17th for the year, 2 in this series.
I definitely did not think the ball was hit that far. And when I looked up, it just carried and carried, like you said, and then all of a sudden it was gone over the fence for 2 more runs. Cam Pierce on the mound. He's ready. Here comes the pitch. And this is in there to Richie Robertson, and he also can hit the ball a long way. All right, there's another hit into the left field by Richie Robinson.
3 straight hard hit balls off of Cam Pierce. They're not fooling him.
They sure not. They're hitting the ball good now, but we know when you're playing a state champion, you know they can hit it, and they're definitely doing a good job here in the third, fourth, and fifth inning. Pleasant Grove has done a good job hitting that baseball. Cam Pierce is ready. He brings it in there, outside, ball one. This is Brennan Whitten, shortstop for Pleasant Grove. 1 out. Pitch outside. Ball two. 2 balls, no strikes. It's 10-2 here in the 5th inning in favor of Pleasant Grove. Cam Pierce is ready. Takes a stretch. And a long fly ball to center field. It's going deep, deep. Let's see if it'll stay in here. Yes, it is. And Ed Cox brings it down for the out. Now, Buddy Pyron, that's one when it was hit. I kind of thought it might be gone.
It was hit 365 feet at Opp, Alabama. It would have been out of here. But Eric Cox, as he caught it, fell down, pushed against the fence somewhat, and got up and threw it back into the infield. So 365 out for out number 2.
Right up against the fence. And
they're pounding the baseball, Randy.
They are definitely hitting, and they're hitting from top to bottom, too. Doing a good job of hitting that baseball. Cam Pierce is ready on the mound. Takes a stretch, gets a signal.
We got to fool them. We can't throw that straight ball unless it is a blistering fastball. And Cam certainly has not been a pitcher this year as such for us. He's pitched a little bit, but not much. Having to do the workman's chore here in the state championship game. That time he throws it wide for ball 2.
2 balls, no strikes. Bobcats trail 10-2. Cam Pierce on the mound. Judd Chenell behind the plate, and we're getting ready. It's in there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Cam Pierce fired across there. It's in there for a strike. Umpire behind the plate. Look down to umpire first. Umpire first said, yes, sir, you went around for a strike.
Cam delivers ball high. Full count on Black, the catcher.
All right, she's a full count, 3-2. Buddy Pyron here in the state championship game. Bobcats trail 10-2. We need to get this out here and get in and get us some runs. Runners going, ball outside, walked. So we have runners now on first and second with 2 men out, and that'll bring up the first baseman, David Landrum. Cam Pierce is on the mound. Landrum's looking out. He's looking in. He's getting ready. Cam takes a stretch. He brings it in for a ball a little bit low. And I tell you one thing, it has been a great weekend. Today things are not going a Bobcats way, but I want to congratulate these Bobcats for a great season, getting to the final game. And we've not given up here yet. Long fly ball center field, but I believe we'll be up under it. Eric Cox is in. He calls for it, and he makes a catch for the 3rd out. But that inning, Pleasant Grove come up with 2 more big runs on 2 hits. And so after 4.5 innings, going to the bottom of the 5th, it's 10 for Pleasant Grove, 2 for the Bobcats, and we'll be right back.
Okay, we're in the bottom of the 5th. We have the 5th, 6th, and 7th to make a miracle happen here. Trailing 10-2, somewhat out of it. The bats are working for for Pleasant Grove, and not for the Bobcats. As the next batter stepping in will be for Opp, in leading the bottom of the 5th, Neil Presley.
Neil Presley, first time he was walked, and then he had a fielder's choice the second time up. He has a long, high fly ball at center field.
Too high.
Center fielder calls for it, comes in, and makes the play.
1 pitch, 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Andy Elrod.
Next batter, Judd Chenell for the Bobcats. It's one out here in the bottom half of the field. Bobcats trail 10-2.
You know, Mike Hamilton really hasn't done a good job. He hasn't done a bad job. He's just been able to get the Bobcats out.
What he's done, he's got it done, hadn't he? He just got the work done. Fair ball down third baseline. It's a base hit.
Robinson knocks it down, a hard, sharp ball hit to the third base side, a grounder by Judge Chanel, and Chanel beats it out as Robinson did not even attempt the throw. He bobbled the ball over there momentarily, so Tillis will go in to run for Chanel on first base.
That'll bring up Eric Cox to the plate. Here in the bottom of the field, Bobcats trail 10-2. All right. Hamilton gets his signal. He's on the mound. He's ready. And there goes a runner. Rashad Tillis is going. He's down. He's up under there. He's safe. He was up under him that time, Buddy Pyron.
I believe he gave us one on that one from the time before. Actually, we'd rather have the one before. But Rashad goes sliding head first into second and was safe.
You know, Buddy, just like you say, at that time there, it looked like the ball might have been there from our angle. You can't tell, but he may be making up for one he missed a while ago that really, really hurt us.
Grimes appreciates that, I'm sure.
Yes, so Lord. And it's called at second base. Umpire's 0 for 2, as Mike Russell said. But what does Mike Russell know? That's what I've been wondering.
He's pretty accurate. He's pretty accurate.
He's great on getting you somewhere. I tell you one thing, we went through everywhere, Tannehill, everywhere else trying to get up here.
Foul ball back by Eric Cox. 2 balls, 1 strike.
All right, Buddy Pyron, we got to get something going here now. We got to get up. The fans are trying to get something going a while ago. We got to get up and get after him. You know, never say die. We're down 8 runs, but you can't ever tell. Things can happen. We got the bats that we can come back with. Eric Cox is ready, and he fouled another one back.
He's taking that kind of cut.
It's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 runner on base here in the bottom half of the 5th inning.
Rashad Tillis takes the lead off second. Swung on, foul back again by Eric Cox. The count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out and 1 man on.
Bobcats trail 10-2 here in the 5th inning. Runner on second base. Need to have a big inning coming. We had a lot of opportunity today, Buddy Pyron, to score some runs. Ground
ball down the third base side. It's called foul. Eric looked at it before he decided to run, then began to run. But they called him back. It was foul. It was picked up by Richie Robertson right at the third base bag in foul territory.
Batter for the Bobcats. Eric Cox here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Rashad Tillis on second base. Hamilton the pitcher. Foul ball over our way, but it's going to be a little bit short and in foul territory.
Eric almost hit his brother, Richard, with the baseball, and the foul ball. Richard walked over and started to catch it and just let it go.
Crowd this time on both sides are getting a little quiet here, Buddy Pyron. Both of them are kindly just cool down a little bit. Sun come out baking a little bit now, a little bit hot.
Swung on a high fly ball, climbing out into left field. Elrod is there to make the catch. Now they throw over the third on an arm. He's going to be out at third base. What a throw by Andy Elrod, as he demonstrated the type of arm he has to take the Bobcats out of it here in the bottom of the 5th, as Rashad Tillis was tagged out at third base. So after 5 complete, it's the Spartans 10, the Bobcats 2. We'll be back in a moment. Top of the 6th, Coach Johnny Grimes is going to stay with Cam Pierce on the mound. Ashley Davis at first. Brent Hall at second base. Josh Kaiser at short. Neil Presley at third. In right field is D. Jones. Center field, Eric Cox, and in left field, Chris Cohagen. And behind the plate, Judd Chanel. They'll be looking at Ken Forstrom, who is the DH. He's flied to center field. He's walked, and he got a double, stand-up double, which drove in 2 runs the last time up. So he will be coming to the plate 1 for 2 and 2 RBIs. Cam Pierce, the senior, looks at Judge Chanel, takes a long time, gets his signal, and now the windup and the delivery. First pitch is called ball inside. They somewhat respect Forstrom better this time than they did last, as the ball was hit over the head of Eric Cox in center field. This ball is high pop fly into the infield. Cam Pierce calling for it, shading his eyes, and comes down with it for out number 1. So a quick out by Cam Pierce as he caught the fly from Ken Forstrom. Next would be Scott Shivers, the left fielder for the Spartans. As he steps in, the first pitch is a ball. And today he has grounded to the shortstop, fly to center, fly to the catcher, and struck out the last time up. And he fouled the ball off this time around the first base dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Can we shut them down? 10-2 is the score. The question is, can we shut them down and come back and get us some runs? Cam Pierce throws, delivers, picked up by Josh Kaiser over to first for the 2nd out. Good strike from Kaiser to Davis. Routine out, 6-3 as we score it. And he'll be followed by Brian Atchison. Atchison today has struck out. He flied to the second baseman, and the last time walked, and he was injured as he was going from first to second with a hit by Shane Carnes. Hit him right on the leg, and he limped off the field. I'm sure he has the laces engraved in his leg. First pitch to him was a ball, low. Now Cam takes, delivers. It's thrown low again. Ball 2. Play him straight away. Infield is back. Ball 3 is high. So we're looking at 3-0 now with 2 out here in the top of the 6th. It would be great to not have anyone on for an inning. See if we can get him. And the pitch is high, and he walks him to first base. And noticing his run to first, it looks as though he's not hampered by that hit on the leg, as Carnes will be stepping in to bat against Cam Pierce. Carnes has walked today. He's hit a home run. He's walked again, and he hit a single. So he is 2 for 2.
I sure like this book that we keep in here. It's something a little different, isn't it?
Randy has a unique way of putting base hits. I always put 1B, 2B, 3B, whatever it might be. He puts a dash.
Sideways dash.
Some kind of hieroglyphics. It's Griffin-glyphics, I guess. All right, the leadoff first. Swung on. A big swing. Swinging strike. Shane Carnes was going downtown again. He liked the idea of hitting those home runs. No one was on the last time he hit one. But that time he missed it for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cam looks, takes, and delivers. The ball is hit sharply over to Brent Hall. Hall fields it, throws it over to first for out number 3. A quick inning for the Spartans and for the Bobcats. After 5.5, it still remains the Spartans 10, the Bobcats 2. We'll be back in a moment. Have 2 times at bat. The bottom of the 6th, the bottom of the 7th. And it's going to be a struggle, but we can do it, as we will be facing Mike Hamilton, who's gone all the way for the Spartans, who has been in trouble numerous times but has worked his way out. As the first batter for the Bobcats will be Josh Kaiser, the shortstop. He steps in. The first pitch to him, swung on. It's hit sharply over to the left side. It's shortstop. He comes up with it and throws it over to first for the out. In time for out number 1. So 1 ball and 1 out. Or rather 1 pitch and 1 out. And that will bring up Ashley Davis. Today, Ashley has reached on an error by a strikeout and the catcher missing it and a fielder's choice. First pitch to him is a ball. Swung on. Strike 1. We just haven't been able to put things together here in the final game of the 3-game series. Foul back behind the fence. That counts for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. The 6'3" senior, Ashley Davis, steps back in. He's out in front of the plate as the left-hander delivers. It's in the dirt, and he holds up for ball 2. They're playing actually fairly shallow in outfield. He hasn't really been able to hit the ball that good here in the 3-game series. As Hamilton looks to his outfield again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, a long count, and he takes, delivers, and throws a high fly ball to the left side. It's called by Robinson, the third baseman, and he controls it for out number 2. A fly to the third baseman, Richie Robinson, and that brings up D. Jones. And D has grounded out to the pitcher. Actually, it was a fielder's choice, and then he got a double. The first pitch to him is called strike. Ball high. So D, as he steps in, is 0 for 2. Excuse me, 1 for 2. And he looks at 1 ball, 1 strike. Next pitch in the dirt. And they play him real shallow. They don't expect him to hit the long ball. D physically is a very somewhat small young man, but fairly strong as well. Hamilton takes, delivers, swung on, and he missed it for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Mike Hamilton looks to his catcher, takes the signal, delivers, and swung on. Strike 3. He strikes him out to retire the side. And the score after 6 complete, we have 1 to go. It's the Spartans 10 and the Bobcats 2. We'll be back in a moment.
Okay, we're back live in Pleasant Grove, Alabama, 30 miles northwest of Birmingham, Alabama, here in the top of the 7th inning. Coach Johnny Grimes making a substitute in right field. And the Pleasant Grove fans have really turned out here in the last part of this ball game, and really a very vocal crowd here for the Pleasant Grove, with Cam Pierce still on the mound for the Bobcats here in the top of the 7th inning. The Pleasant Grove 10, Bobcats 2. And here with Buddy Powering and Randy Griffin, Coach Johnny Grice putting number 18 for the Pleasant Grove automatic walk to first base, and the fan sure doesn't like that at all. With a walk to first base, with no outs here in the top of the 7th inning, 10-2, and number 22 for Pleasant Grove.
Richie Robinson, third baseman, comes to bat. Elrod takes the lead off first. Pierce delivers, ball's in the dirt. Chanel comes up with it, looks to first, and does not make the throw as Elrod gets back. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, the delivery swung on, foul, into the dirt. So it makes it 1-1. We got to hold them here. Being 10-2, you think you'd be mighty comfortable in the top of the 7th as a Spartan. And the heart of their lineup is up. Ball high. Now we have 3 balls, 1 strike to Richie Robertson, who has power, so we better watch it here. Walks him. And that moves Elrod to second. Robinson goes to first. And the next batter stepping in for the Spartans will be Brandon Whiten. The Bobcats certainly will need a double play here. First pitch, foul back. That's one of those excuse me type fouls. He squared somewhat to make the move and then decided not to, and the ball hit the bat, bounced backwards. The Spartans must be feeling mighty good at this time as being state champions, as we pointed out, runners-up the year before. Call strike to Whiten. And now leading 10-2 in a come-from-behind type win as far as yesterday. The Bobcats won the first game, lost the second one, 5-3, and now today the bats have worked for Pleasant Grove. They swept the semifinals 10-0 and 12-0 in 5 innings. 13-0 in 5 innings over Hayden. Bobcats been much more of a contest for them and actually scared them to death. We're looking at 2 balls, 2 strikes as Cam Pierce takes his sign, delivers. He swung on a high fly ball climbing to the left side. Gohagen is there, shades it, and comes up with it for the first out in the top of the 7th. Elrod races back to second. Richie Robinson comes back to first. And the next batter will be a substitute. Left-handed batter for us. And I apologize, he's not on our roster. Elrod and Josh Kaiser having a conversation as play begins. Now Elrod takes the lead. First pitch to the batter, standing in there, strike 1. A slow winding curveball. Elrod takes 3, 4, 5 steps off. The next pitch, outside. Richie Robinson and Ashley Davis, 2 fine young men talking to each other on first base. Actually, Robinson was with us last night as we ate supper after the second game and was very much a gentleman. He's now on first base, takes a lead off first for a called strike, swinging strike to the batter as he steps back in there with 1-2 count. Cam Pierce delivers. Ball is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Josh Kaiser and Andy Elrod in conversation, as well as Andy and Richie. Ashley and Richie. Very unique. Swung on, strike 3. Judge Chanel hangs on for the second out here in the top of the 7th. The game we witnessed yesterday was one that no team should lose. It was a dramatic finish and one of those high emotional type contests, and really the Bobcats did a great job of winning that one. And then the afternoon affair, somewhat lackluster, but one 3-run homer by Andy Elrod made the distance and defeated the Bobcats by the score of 5-3. Well, this afternoon it's been everybody hitting for the Spartans. 10 runs have crossed the plate, and the ball is swung on, foul back. In there is Landrum, and he has 1 ball, 1 strike on him as Cam Pierce finishing the way here for the Bobcats. Landrum, a left-hander. Swung on. The ball is hit, bouncing over to Ashley Davis. Davis racing, now throws over to Cam Pierce for the 3rd out to retire the side in the top of the 7th, and this is it for the Bobcats. They need simply 8 runs before they get 3 outs. We'll be back in a moment and see if they do that. In the bottom of the 7th, it must be a big inning for the Bobcats, trailing by 8 runs, 10-2. Mike Hamilton's gone the distance on the mound for the Spartans from Pleasant Grove. First pitch to Cam Pierce. He fouls it back. Strike 1. Cam Pierce, the normal shortstop and now pitcher for the Bobcats, has finished the game for pitching for the Bobcats. As Hamilton takes, delivers, swung on. Nope, it's a bouncer. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. As they play straight away in center field, the ball is swung on, hit foul down out of the ballpark. Actually, he pulled it to the left. Hit it somewhat off the handle and went foul for a long strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cam Pierce would like nothing more than get a final base hit here. Last time in high school baseball. Number 12 stands in tight. He looks, swung on. It's hit sharply over to the 3rd side, and it gets through. The shortstop comes up to stop it, but unable to make the throw. It is a base hit. So Cam Pierce leads off the bottom of the 7th with a base hit for the Bobcats. He'll be followed by Brent Hall, the second baseman, also a senior. As these seniors come to bat, possibly for their last time. Today, he's flied out to center, and a fielder's choice, so he's 0 for 3. Brent Hall steps in against Mike Hamilton, the sophomore. As he looks to the first base, swung on. So ball is hit softly over the second baseman. Cam Pierce holds up at second. Base hit, Brent Hall. So we have runners back-to-back with 2 base hits, first and second, as he just more or less punched that ball over the second baseman's head. Chris Gohagan gets another opportunity to redeem himself from 2 previous strikeouts, as he's 0 for 2 today and was substituted the last time at bat as Jared Jones came in, but he's now back batting here in the bottom of the 7th. The 3rd batter with runners on first and second. Cam Pierce is on second. Brent Hall's on first. And way out in front of the plate is Chris Gohagan. And the first pitch is a fastball, called strike 1. He obviously is looking for the curveball, being that far out in front of the plate. As the fans from the Spartan fans rather, and the ball is passed, both runners advance to 3rd and 2nd. It got by Black. He squibbled off his knee pad and went over to the left side behind Chris Gohagan, and he was unable to make the throw as both runners advanced. Now first base is open with no outs, runners on 2nd and 3rd. A lead by both runners. The ball is high. Chris Gohagan looks at 2 balls, 1 strike. Richie Robinson, the senior pitcher of yesterday, the first pitcher that we faced, comes out, talks to the young sophomore, kind of settles him down somewhat. Now he takes his sign, throws, delivers. It's ball inside. 3 balls, 1 strike. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th.
Of course,
So
Neil
if you're a
Presley's
Bobcat
on
fan-
deck. Neil Presley's on deck.
If you're a Bobcat fan, cross your fingers, your toes, and let's see if something good comes out of this. Let's make a run for it. The ball is high, it's walked, and Neil Presley comes to the bat. They will talk about this one right now. Trailing 10-2. Let's see what the coach decides to do. The coach I'm talking about is the Spartan coach from Pleasant Grove, as he has taken the bat out of Neil Presley's hand throughout the day and yesterday as well.
With the bases loaded and Neil at bat, would you walk him? That's a tough decision, wouldn't it?
Well, he'll be followed by Judge Chanel. And let's see what has happened. He's walked, had a fielder's choice, and fly to center. I believe he is going to discuss it. He's now walking to the pitcher. We may have a change in pitching here as the coach comes smiling into the pitcher with his hand stretched wide. What do you want to do? So this is a decision to be made by the pitcher. What do you think? Don't throw him anything he can hit out of the park. Make him go for it. Let's hope that we get a double play. So Neil's going to be anxious, you know. Having bases loaded, he would love nothing better than to send one out over this park. And he has the ability to do that, but you don't need to be anxious. You need to be comfortable up there at batting, get the pitch you want. And Neil, all the runners take their leads, and somewhat of a big lead on third. First pitch, swung on, hit hard, over to the left side, picked up by the shortstop, throwing over to second. He missed the ball. It goes out into right field. 1 run scores. 2 run scores. And we have runners on first and third. An error by the shortstop, Whiten, who has played errorless ball throughout this series. Threw the ball wide to Atchison at second. It goes out into right field. The Bobcats score 2 runs. Still no outs here in the bottom of the 7th. The score is 10-4. And somewhat of a little of excitement happens over on the Bobcat side today. Neil Presley on first base. You can bet we'll be going to second base.
That was shortstop. Ball was hit to the shortstop, and the shortstop made a wide throw to second base, and it went to right field.
Neil Presley off first. Gohagen off third. Presley looks at the pitcher's eyes. He looks home, and Presley goes to second. He takes the ball. Their throw is down to second. It goes wide into the outfield. Gohagen will score. Presley goes to third. The score is 10-5. No outs. Presley's on third. That first pitch to Judge Chanel was a ball. It was in the dirt. And I would not believe they would have thrown the ball.
I wouldn't believe that either, but they haven't thrown it all day with the man on first and third and Johnny Sin the runner, but they made a throw to second to center field.
If they were going to throw that one, why didn't they walk Presley?
I don't understand that at all.
I'm glad they did. It's 10-5. Cross your fingers again, folks. Judge Chanel, who has power at the bat, stands in there with 1 ball. On deck, Eric Cox. The ball inside. Ball 2. You can bet. Mike Hamilton feeling a little pressure here in the bottom of the 7th. Things are going to Ray. Judge Chanel, anxious himself. Presley takes a lead off third. Hamilton looks, delivers, swung on, strike. A swinging low strike. So we're looking at 2 balls, 1 strike, no outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Let's make something good happen, Judd. The big 220-pound catcher for the Bobcats caught all 3 games in the series. And the ball is high. 3 balls, 1 strike. Coach Grimes certainly will tell him to make it be in the strike zone. Judd, make it be in the strike zone. The big man steps in again. Mike Hamilton takes his windup, delivers, swung on, hit to the left side, picked up by Robinson. Robinson throws over the first 4 out, number 1. And the runner holds at third base. So no one advances. Presley did not go home. as the ball was hit right beside him. He had to hold back on third base as he was held by Robinson, who did a good job. The senior came up with the ball, made a good throw over to first base in time for the out against Judge Chanel. So now we have one out, and Eric Cox comes to bat with Presley still on third. Another senior steps in for the Bobcats. His last time at bat, unless something great happens. The first pitch is ball outside. Next pitch, ball inside. One ball, two balls, excuse me. No strikes. Eric Cox looks at the left-hander. He delivers. Swung on. The ball is hit sharply into center field. Presley will score. The ball picked up by Andy Elrod. A great hit. Timely hit by Eric Cox. A single to center field.
Presley scores from third base, 10-6 in the bottom of the seventh inning. And boys, we got us a ball game.
It's 10-6. What a charge by the Bobcats here in the final inning. Scoring 4 runs. Our bats have been silenced all day until this inning. And now more discussions. Going up to talk to Mike Hamilton, the sophomore, who's going all the way. Here in the seventh, seems to be losing it somewhat. And the Bobcats' bats are coming alive. We've had 3 hits, 1 error. And the next batter is Josh Kaiser. We have runners Eric Cox on first. Watch out. He may be running. They'll challenge him. Cox gone. Got a good lead. Jump. Ball's hit hard out into center field. Uh-oh, he's got to come back. What an arm. Cox gets back safely, but what a hit. Kaiser got, it was a hit and run play. Kaiser got what he wanted, but it happened to be right to Andy Elrod. Anywhere in the gap, that would have been at least a double play. Oh, excuse me, stand-up double. But now we have 2 outs here in the bottom as we make our charge. Something great again has got to happen. Kaiser did exactly what he wanted to do. He got good bat on the ball. It just carried to the wrong place to the senior Andy Elrod in center field. And Cox was already at second. He got a great jump. He could have walked to second base if Kaiser had not swung. This time swung on a high fly ball to the left side. Going to be controlled by the shortstop, calling for it, and the championship goes to Pleasant Grove. The third out as they mass the field. Eric Cox throws his helmet back to the Bobcat side as Pleasant Grove fans, baseball team, coaches certainly congratulated here for a job well done. But the Bobcats didn't die. They came back in the seventh and said, we have character. We're going to make somewhat of a game out of this. And it gave some chills to the fans over in the Stanhope. I say that again, to the Pleasant Grove side. So the Bobcats coming up short, 10-6, the final game in the 3-game series as runners-up in the state in 4A baseball. Certainly not what we wanted, but certainly proud of these Bobcats on a great season, the greatest ever for the Bobcat baseball teams.
But it's been a great series here. It's tough that somebody has to lose, but the Bobcats have really played their hearts out. Been a great ball game. Second in the whole state in Class 4A is nothing to hold your heads about. First time here, and it has been a super good ball game, buddy.
And they go forward to shake hands with both teams, both very good sportsmanship as far as the Opp High School players as well as Pleasant Grove players. And I tell you what, the people here have been very good to us and certainly been very great if we had had a trophy to go back as the state champions. But we are runners-up, and we're better than everyone else but the Pleasant Grove Spartans today. And I tell you what, we scared the life out of them.
We sure did. We come in here actually the underdog according to all the news, but we really showed them what the Bobcats are made of and played some good ball, and we got something to hold our heads up and look good about.
I'd like to congratulate Coach Johnny Grimes, Coach Vernon McBride, a tremendous season, as well as these seniors, and we're certainly proud of them, the Opp Bobcats, and we're proud of all of them. And I tell you what, this is what baseball is all about in our high school sports. And I know you want to thank the sponsors. I appreciate you letting me make a mess of this series, and it's been fun for me. But I would like to have one of those blue trophies.
I sure would too, buddy. And we appreciate you and Randy taking care of this, doing the announcing for Channel 6 today, doing something a little different here on television, doing it live, and it's really been a good series here in Pleasant Grove, Alabama. And we want to thank all the sponsors that were here today that you've been seeing on TV. They've been super great games. If it wasn't for the sponsors, we wouldn't be able to bring this back to you live. Of course, we have the videotape. Good videotapes. We'll be showing it on Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night. If you check Channel 6 tomorrow, you can tell what time it's going to be. We'll have all that on the screen, and we'll take care of all that when we get back to op. Just keep your eye on it. Watch the TV, and keep your eye on when the tape's going to be played. And I'm sure everybody will be wanting to watch it. We thank our sponsors, thank Randy and Buddy and everybody here from Pleasant Grove, Alabama. It's been a good one, and we look to see you in Op, Alabama later tonight.